Good evening. What's going on with you? You are on with Big J and
D Mac.
all right. Thank y'all for being a part of the channel tonight. What we're gonna do our best to keep everything going and to keep it flowing. We thank God because people are already coming in the channel and we are excited. No matter what, we're gonna roll with this and we know it's gonna be a blessing for many people. Go ahead, D.
Hey, first off, I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. This is going to be a great show, and I definitely want to start by saying rest in peace to Miss Frankie Lawn, Keisha Cole's mother. She passed away on her
Wow.
birthday.
Wow.
That's a hard thing. So
Wow.
love and condolences and prayers go out to the Cole family,
Yes.
man. And
Yes.
we definitely want to honor that queen.
Yeah, man. No matter what, man, we're talking about the plight of a black woman. And not just that, man, we've had some other soldiers who went home to be with the Lord this week also. So we want to keep those families up in prayer. I saw that I think it was DJ on his page. He lost a close friend. Man,
Oh, wow.
YouTube is nothing but a battle and a war, man, of analytics and content. But when it comes to the flavor of a man losing a friend who has fallen, I have nothing but respect for that, and let
Yeah,
you know, DJ, that DMAC and myself are praying for you, my brother. We're
for
keeping you
sure.
up in prayer, man, because it's not about numbers or statistics. It's about value of life and friends when those things happen. So we encourage you and we keep you up in prayer, my brother. So, D, man, we are here tonight. Oh, let me say this. Those who are on the podcast, man, the emails and the things happening, man. We saw yesterday that we did 400 visitors. We did over almost 100 downloads. We really appreciate what's going on. You're making a difference and you're making it happen. All those who have subscribed to our channels, we salute you because no matter what is going down, and we thank you. Go ahead, D. You got anything you want to say, bud?
Yeah, same thing, man. I'm just echoing everything that you just said, and a little bit more to it.
Right.
Our black women, man. We've seen over I'll say the last few years, man, that our black women have been given the short end of the stick.
Facts.
They've been discredited. They've been demonized in many cases,
Talk,
and it's
D.
time to flip that narrative, man. It's time for us to uplift our women, man, and put our women back in their right position in
Talk,
our
D.
minds and in our hearts. And as the narrative changes in the United States, man, this is where it starts with us, the black men.
Facts. Talk, man. And you know what, D? You're 100% right because all I hear on Facebook or and YouTube is black women can't afford this. Black women can't take care of kids. Black women can't do this. And just like you said, who created that narrative, man? Because that's a false narrative. Because when we're going to play a video in a minute where my wife is singing, and we're going to look back and we're going to look at women, man, from the past and understand that there are still great women in America who are Afrocentric, Afro American. We salute all women, but there's something about that black woman who is just strong based on adversity and the things she's been through. Man,
Absolutely. Man, I have so many stories. We wouldn't have enough time in the day for me to tell the stories that I have of the black women in my life, man, and family and not family. And
right,
not all family is blood. And there's some women that's been in my life that's been just as instrumental as the family,
right.
as the blood family. So, yeah, man, let's get it going.
Yeah, man, people don't want to hear this though, D, and I'll tell you why they don't want to hear it. Because it's not combative. See, people in this country, unfortunately, we're looking for a fight. We're looking to drag people down. We're looking to be indifferent. We're looking to
Mhm.
discredit folk. And
Yeah.
people don't want to hear that, man. I'm telling you, on YouTube right now, the biggest thing is they call it beef. I don't want to beef. I don't want to talk about the black women not taking care of the black child. I don't want to talk about gang banging. I want to
Mhm.
talk about the evolution of a woman who created a king, a woman who created a prince, a woman who gave birth to something that was greater than everything that she'd been through. And if we do that, I believe that we will recapture the community of people and give selection of understanding to those who are trying to achieve success. So, what are some of the things that you hear being said about our sisters?
Well, one of the main things that I hear being said about our sisters is that they don't stick together like black women used to.
Wow.
Um, and when I was growing up, every woman in the community had the right to whoop my butt.
Right.
Every woman in the community had the right to correct me, and
Facts.
every woman and they would go back and then tell my parents, and then they would take it from there.
Right.
And somewhere along the lines, they started to say that this disappeared, but no, it didn't disappear. It just stopped being displayed to the public,
Right.
because
Right.
I see it constantly in my family. In any child in my family that's in need ain't in need. Not for long. Soon as one person hear it, then that child is no longer in need. And these women are still locked in and they still together. But because of the way society has evolved and stuff like that, they don't have to be out there like they used to be. And so you're not gonna see it as much out in public, but it's still there. These women
Right.
are locked in. These women, and not only are they locked in, now they are at a level to they're in corporate America now. They're doing everything.
Facts.
They're in the
Facts.
military. They're in all of these different industries now.
Facts.
And they're doing everything. So our women is holding it down, man. They just want to paint a certain narrative to keep that going. And like I said, these old, outdated narratives that they paint about our women, we need to squash that.
Right, man, because we need to celebrate our women because our women have changed the future. Let me play this video, man. And I wish more people would come on, but I understand. But when I go to the podcast and play this, it's just amazing to see the number of people who are flowing. But definitely I understand distractions are a part of the narrative of life. But let me run this video, man, because this means something. Because as
Yeah.
a male, I can identify every woman in this video, which means I'm in touch with our community. I'll be right back.
Them that's not shall lose. For the Bible say, and it's not shall lose. It's
Those
not
three, hold on
shall
one second.
lose. For the Bible say,
Those three women right here are the first black astronauts who worked in NASA. They put the first spaceship in orbit. One was a mathematician. One was the first woman who started working with the Xerox computers. Where this notion and where this narrative is that black women have not succeeded or done anything, it's completely false.
and still is new.
Look at Rosa Parks sitting alone. And it's the same thing today. Black women are found sitting alone again, trying to defeat the false narrative and trying to make sure that all children, even men who have left them and done them wrong, are still a part of the equation. Man, this is so deep.
Mama may have.
Now, if I ask most men who this woman is, they wouldn't be able to tell me, D. And that's Madam C.J. Walker. And if we're talking about success and what women have done in this country who were not athletes and women who have put everything on the front line, that matters. That's Madam C.J. Walker. And she started hair products. She believed in her own self when no one else did. This is deep.
That's that
Papa may
Proverbs
have.
woman.
Yeah, say it again.
That's that Proverbs woman.
Yes, sir. And what does that say there, D? Who can
Well,
find a virtuous woman? Come
yes, sir. Yes,
on
sir.
now. And again, look at these women, man. You only hear about the men. And there was a group
Mhm.
of men called certain soldiers, the Buffalo Soldiers. Well, this is the group of African American women who were the Buffalo women. and they
Mm,
served in the military. And they didn't
mm,
serve at the same time because back then it was not, it was almost a law that women couldn't go into battle. But yet
mm.
they served doing other things. They served in repairing and doing things that it made it necessary for the African American male to go to battle during World War II. Yeah,
Wow.
that's why I did this, man. Because if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. So then
Exactly.
I'm gonna keep calling a woman nothing. I'm gonna keep calling her lazy. I'm gonna keep all she want to do is go get her nails done. No, that's not everyone. That's a small group of people. So what we need to go back and identify African American men instead of saying that we need coding or we need this. We need to go back and identify with the truth. There's no failure in us. There's only
God
failure in
bless the
ignorance.
child that's got his own.
Billie Holiday, who my wife is singing right now, courageous, amazing. But the problem is when there is no true male in the lives of these women, as with Billie Holiday, she got strung out on drugs. Let me let it play all the
That's
way through,
got
D,
his
so you can get some of
own.
this.
Rich
Tell
relations
me when to stop,
give
D.
crust of bread
Mm,
and such. You can help yourself,
wow.
but don't dare take too much.
Right there.
Mama.
That picture right there says a lot because not only does that dispel that myth that black women aren't together, but it also dispels that myth that they can't do what's considered a man's job.
Come on now.
Um, Now, I see it like this: whoever can get the job done, that's the person for the job.
Come on.
And I've seen women do some great things. I've served in the military with some great women. Matter of fact, my colonel that was over the surgeon section was female, Colonel Seiler. Shout out to you, Colonel Seiler. And man, she was awesome. She taught me a whole lot of stuff. And just to be up under somebody who has that courage and that confidence in themselves, it gives you a different appreciation for women. In that atmosphere that we were in, she held it down better than a lot of the men did. I
Facts.
definitely can say that. And
Facts.
so this picture right here shows the strength of our women, man. And it's nothing new. This is what our women do
Facts.
all the time.
Yes, sir. See, the problem is in our own community, not in the country. We used to be able to blame other individuals for our plight and for the deception of the narratives painted within the community. We can no longer do that. There's so much hate, so much animosity, so much jealousy within our community. We are not striving to build one another anymore. We're striving to tear each other down. I don't know if you know this or not. These group of women are the only group of women in the world who run a fire department, a fire chief. She's the female. All right. And all these women are ranked. There are no men in this fire department right here. These are all women who fight fires and stand united together no matter what. For some reason, there is a force at work to destroy or to debunk those things which can be great. But when I see these women standing together with one hands up, everybody's hands up. But there are people today,
Mama.
I hear on Facebook, well, somebody went and reported me, trying to remove my numbers, get my views. That's what the enemy needs to do because there is a sense of jealousy and there's a sense of hate, which is right among us. It's very sad.
They
Yes, yes,
have,
sir.
Look at this,
power
man.
Mhm.
they have, but God bless the
Maxine Waters.
child that's got his own. That's got his own.
I want to say thank you to my wife for singing that. That was completely amazing. Thank you again, baby. I appreciate you for that. But yeah, when we get back
Mhm.
to it, man, and we look at it, man, it is the truth. God bless the child that's got its own. But we cannot take that approach to life. And now, what he's saying is got its own. It's not saying that you're an independent thinker and you don't care about anybody else. What it's really saying is that you have your stuff together and are willing to help others grow. That's what Big J Let's Talk was all about. We didn't
Mhm.
start it to be big. We didn't start it to be anyone. We just wanted to help others. But behind the scenes, I already know there's a secret enemy. It doesn't bother me. It's been in my life for about 5 to 10 years doing the same thing. And he can keep on, but you won't succeed. You won't succeed. And I speak it because when I look back over the narrative of the African American people, it's been the same thing within our community. But you are defeated. Go ahead, D.
I want to address something that's because it's been bothering me for quite a while, concerning our sisters and particularly our young sisters right now. Um, the over-sexualizing of our little black girls. This is something that has really taken our daughters and our granddaughters, and they're so focused on the outer appearance and all of the superficial stuff that they don't really value what they truly are. And a lot of them are lost right now, man. And I'm looking at them, I'm seeing how they're trying to find their identity. They're scratching and scraping to find an identity, and they're picking up on all the wrong things, man. And the hip hop music and the whole entire wave that's going right now is leading our sisters astray, because all it's doing is over sexualizing these young girls and making them feel like that's all they have to offer, when they have so much more to offer, man. And so I just want to say to my young sisters right now, you have way more to offer than the outer stuff. That's just dressing. That's just something to gain attention. But what a true
Facts.
man is really looking for,
Facts.
looking for your heart. A true man is looking for
Facts.
that Proverbs woman, that woman who knows how to handle business. If
Facts.
something was to happen to me, then I know my baby can hold us down until I get back on my feet. A help me. That's what a helpmeet is. That's somebody that's standing by your side. No, you're not kneeling at my feet. You standing by my side. That's why you my rib, because you right there at my side. You
See,
know.
in right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
No,
That's
no,
all
no.
right.
Right where you are is amazing, bro. I had a talk with my wife today. This year we'll be married 38 years, and it has not always been good. There's been times where it's been hell. But I told her today, being that our ages and where we are, I respect you and I love you. And I know that I go through things and you go through things. But when I see
Mhm.
you, I understand. But it's not for anyone else to come into our things. And that's what the problem is in the world today. Too many people are inviting problematic people into their relationships, their marriages,
Mhm.
and other things. And you don't know who you're talking to that's going to sabotage your relationship or your marriage. See what people do, people who destroyed their own stuff look to destroy other people's stuff. And that's what most people don't do. And that's what we have to get back to. Watch this. It's not our sisters, D. It's the system. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong. Mark Zuckerberg just came out and said that they're going to give so many millions of dollars to content creators on Facebook now to
Mhm.
compete with YouTube. So you
Yeah,
have, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, you absolutely right about that. I saw that today.
Yep. So now you got all the women booty shaking, breasts out. I was talking to the wife about it today. You can't even get on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere. As soon as you scroll and rolling, there's somebody half naked. Whereas 20 years ago, it was shameful for a young woman to show her body. It was
Mhm.
shameful. Now they're getting enhancements because it's a way to money. I need the views, I need the subscribers, and the likes on Facebook. It's
Well,
out of control.
Well, see, one thing about that is most of them are starting to filter into YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, because OnlyFans shut down the adult portion of their thing. And so they're trying to get into a different market and make more
Wow.
money, and they can't do that with the adult sex things that they be doing on OnlyFans. So
What
they're
is
trying to
that?
say
I
that
don't know what that is.
OnlyFans is like, it's like where you can pay a fee and go in there and see a girl, just like a
Oh,
private
see.
striptease and all of that stuff like that. So now OnlyFans is wanting to branch out but they're just stuck in that one lane. And so they got rid of that portion. So all of those girls that was on OnlyFans and making all of that money showing their body, now they're starting to filter into the YouTubes and the
Wow.
Instagrams and the Snapchats and
Yeah.
TikTok and all of that stuff like that. So you have to look at that aspect. And then I'm going to go all the way back because um particularly with the sisters, man, when Little Kim hit the scene and she brought that level of uh
Hoochie.
yeah, for lack of a better term, yeah,
I
we'll
said
go
it,
with that.
hoochie.
But when she came with that whole flavor, man, it changed the game for our women because remember before that, our women was looking up to Mary J. Blige and TLC and girls like that, and you know they still had their sex appeal, but they was
Right.
tasteful with it. But
Right.
then you got to the Little Kim, and she just went all the way there. And from that point, Little Kim has been the bar for every female rapper, and
Right.
they will not accept a female rapper
Facts.
unless she falls in that Little Kim image.
Wow.
So now all of our girls think that that's what they have to be a beautiful black woman. When there's so many other examples of beautiful black women. You look at Serena and Venus Williams, great examples of beautiful black women. Simone Biles, let me see. Let me get somebody in the corporate America. Oh, what's my girl named Nina Turner, the one that's running for Congress right now.
Right.
Beautiful black woman, smart and just man, so charismatic. So there's other examples that our girls can look at to emulate than the raunchy rap females. And
Right.
no disrespect to the rap females, make your money, get your paper, and all of that. But I'm telling you, the image that you're portraying to our girls is hurting them. It's really, really hurting them.
I don't think it's hurting them in the sense that they feel it or even that they care. What I believe and what I think is that they don't really care. What I think is that the money that they're getting now to advertise, like that show you said, whatever it is, I didn't know anything about that because there are
Um,
men and women who will pay just to see you naked. And
yeah, but
that's a bad thing. So what young women are doing, they're becoming a part of this trilogy of making money. And then what these rappers and these people are doing, they're exploiting them to say they're hood rats or they're IG hoes or whatever. And then watch this, D. This is my opinion. If we go back and look at all those pictures of the women that we just showed in that video, they're all
mm,
beautiful. They're
mm,
all amazing. Watch this. I was talking to a friend one day. He said, "Man, the most amazing woman on YouTube is Ro. What's the man's name? Country Rains Cougar.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's he was saying from a natural perspective, she's
yeah,
just there. So that means
yeah.
you don't have to be completely naked or anything else. It's just who and what you are that speaks volume. But this society now, man, everything is about yeah, nigga, yeah, yeah, I got this. You do what you got. And what's going on, man? We're destroying ourselves because we're selling ourselves out to $1. And watch this. Women didn't like it when the slave master who had money and everything else came to the room and said, perform. You
Mm,
understand? But
mm,
now I guess the narrative is okay. But tonight we wanted to show you, sisters, you still can be doctors. You still can be lawyers. You still can be a single parent and raise a child who grows up to be sufficient and make sure that he's able to take care of her or himself. And I believe that that narrative needs to be placed back in the
mm.
community. You don't need to be an IG model. You don't need to be an Instagram model. You the same thing. You don't need to be a Facebook stripper. And that's all it is, D. You don't need to be a YouTube stripper. You don't need to show your breast to anybody but the man you love. That's just
Yeah,
me.
so I think that whole thing opened up because the strip clubs closed. I mean, strip clubs closed down because of COVID. They couldn't be in the club stripping. They had to make their money somehow. So
Wow.
they came up with the OnlyFans, and that's how they make their money. But going back to that, the females, with the rap and stuff, I do have some hope because of two people in particular well, actually, it's three people. First off, it's a female artist named Tierra Whack, and the music that she does is not all about, all the grimy stuff and sex and all of that. It's good, fun music. Matter of fact, she just linked up and did a deal with Lego,
Wow.
and doing it with children and stuff. So
Wow.
she's an awesome rap
Wow.
artist. She's coming out and she's on a whole positive vibe that will change that narrative. And then also you have Toby Nwigwe and his wife Fat, and they are I call them the first family of rap, for the simple fact that they talk about is family, togetherness, unity. Everything that he do with his wife, and his kids are with him, and he always show family. His when they do us, he got his wife doing music with him, and man, I just love their whole message and their whole content and their vibe, and I try to do everything I can to support them, because they are definitely changing the narrative. They're bringing
Wow.
the narrative back to the black family,
Right.
and that's the most important piece. So these
Right. And that's what
in
and that's what
particular
has to
that
happen.
I support.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And that's what has to happen, man, because here's the reality for me. I told my wife and I asked her, I said, baby, you need to do a show because women need to have a place that they can come to outside of
mhm,
those who are hollering and yelling and trying to get with the
yeah,
athlete. We
yeah,
need older women like in the church back in the community, and YouTube would be great. So she's
yeah.
thinking of a narrative, the images she want. I'm going to create her a page, not for
So,
likes or anything like that, but for like your wife or other
mhm.
women who are developed in that they know how to raise young women. See, the problem is grandmothers now are 22 years old. Grandmamas are 28. You know,
Yeah,
grandmama got little Ronnie in the club with her. You
yeah,
understand? So we need to go back to that wholesome approach to where a black woman who is Afrocentric can say, "Sister, you don't need to co-pay $800 for a weave. Sister, you don't need to do this. Sister, you don't need to wear your skirt above your knees to your crotch area. You don't need to sell yourself. You don't need to bend over. You don't need to just be a woman." Just be who you were created to be. See, you came out of suffrage. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't vote. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do this. Now you have the opportunity. Like those women we showed in the beginning on the video, seize the moment. I love Maya Angelou's poems. And the wife and I were talking about one tonight that describes and talks about a phenomenal woman. Women have to know that they are wonderfully and perfectly made. You were not created to be a staring object. You were not created to be just nobody, but Christ wonderfully and perfectly made you. But somewhere along the line, some of these wicked, evil Negroes has taken our sisters' identity and made them feel because they're not taking care of them that they need money.
yeah, absolutely. I want to give a shout out to Candace Parker. Candace Parker is the first woman to ever be on the cover of NBA 2K, and
Yes.
that's a great honor. It is about time to see our women get the recognition. I'm starting to see more games on TV. I'm starting to see more pop up on my phone and stuff. So I applaud this effort to get more exposure to the females in the WNBA, because they're doing great stuff.
Yeah, see, man, and that's another issue. There's no way women with families, women with children, should, after the season is over, have to go overseas and play just to earn enough money to live and to sustain life. And there's
Yeah,
so many things that are unbalanced. But the only way that women are going to bring those things back, they have to be diversified, like those women that we first showed to say, no, I'm going to keep my dress down. No, I'm going to keep my skirt down. No, I'm not taking my bra off. No, I'm not doing this. I'm just be real, man. No, I'm not going down on you. No, I'm not doing anything of that like that. I respect myself, whereby I'm going to make a difference. We're going to start. Look at this. Since George Floyd, and nobody has been beaten. Black lives don't matter anymore.
hmm. Wow. Yeah, but I tell you, everything is reactive in the United States. It's not proactive, and that's a big problem. We have to be
Facts.
more proactive about things and not wait for something to happen before we go and do something.
Facts.
Let's put those safeguards in place just in case when something happens, because something is going to happen. Let's have them safeguards in place. But with our going back to our sisters, my daughters, I talk about my daughters a lot, man, because there are so many different versions of me, man.
Right.
That's
Right.
5 different versions of me, and it's funny to watch, but at the same time, it does my heart good because I can see the things that my wife put into them. I can see the things that she instilled in them. I can
Right.
see the things that they picked up from me too. And as they grow older and they're starting to go out in this world and make their own way,
Mm-hmm.
um, man, just to sit back as a parent, and nothing is more satisfying than seeing your strong daughters able to make it on their own. They don't
Facts.
need somebody, they choose to have somebody, and just doing life, just living life the right way, man, and trying to do their best to make their way. It's a beautiful thing to watch, man. And I just sit back. A lot of times, as parents, we want to jump in and give them suggestions here and there, but I back up just to see what they're going to do, man. And my daughters, they impress me every time, man. So salute to all my girls, my sons too, but particularly my girls, man. Y'all are really killing it out there.
Facts. And just to say this, man, is that time is changing and evolving. People don't care about life anymore. And as many young people that we can encourage tonight, that's what we want to do.
Mhm.
Reach one, teach one. So then you do the same thing. Let me say this again, life doesn't matter anymore. A young man and a young woman will take your life at the drop of a hat. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as loyalty anymore. Everyone's out to destroy someone. And watch this. I've learned something over the last, say, 3 or 4 years to where the narrative doesn't change. So when people say, oh, no, 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 yes, you are, because you're doing the same behavior that didn't work, whereby you're on the same planet. So what we need to do is come to an understanding because your behavior is showing me that you're consistent where we are. And because people don't see and understand those things, we're going to keep coming to a fake and a false narrative because we're trying to figure out who we are.
RBR Network. Hey, how you doing, my brother? He said, as a black man, I don't see my kids. I haven't had a father, so I don't know how to be a dad. Wow. Well, my brother, I'm gonna say this on that because there's a lot of black men out here who are going through that issue. I grew up with a lot of brothers who did not have a father figure in the household at all. I was blessed to have my father until I was 17, and that's when he passed away, but he was always in the house. I was blessed to have that. But what my friends didn't have a dad at home, there was an uncle, there was somebody at the Boys and Girls Club, a coach, or somebody that was that ram in the bush for them. And those black men stepped up and they saw that young black man struggling and pulled him to the side and said, hey, young man, and put a bug in their ear. I don't know if you had that in your area or anything like that, but also I will say this, the ultimate father, the father of all fathers, can teach you
Facts.
how to be a father. So if you
Facts.
don't know how to be a dad, you just ask the father. Now, I don't know what your religious beliefs are or anything like that, but that's my suggestion because that was my go to. Even after my father passed away when I was 17, and my first son wasn't born until I was 19. And so I still had questions. And even though I had brothers and stuff like that, they were going through their own, raising their own families and stuff. So they could tell me what they could tell me, but they didn't know much more than I did. And so I had to get guidance from the father. And as a father, to this day, I'm still learning and I'm still picking up things on how to be a better father. So it's a process, my brother. It's not something where you're just going to be a great dad automatically. You got to learn and grow with your child, man. And as far as seeing your children, you have to go through the courts, man, to get that.
Let me go back and say this. And I agree with you. That's the understanding of a lot of African American males, and it predates the system that we understand now of fatherhood. And what you must understand, what you're saying, you're not the only one, and the one who's been through this. During the disposition or the time of slavery, an African American man or who had children with the woman, many times that man was taken from his family. Those children never got to see their father again. Either he was sold off to someone else or he got killed because he was not willing to be obedient. But there was something about those kids who found a narrative to make it. Now, I know that's difficult to say for everyone, but as DMAC just said, there is a father in the systems that we face today. And I like what DMAC says at times to where he was like a father to many young men at the boys club and girls club that he worked at. Yes, we might not have natural fathers, and there might be natural fathers in the home that don't make a difference in the male's life. And I think the greatest thing about you are BR network. I believe that there. I think about the greatest thing with you is that you have kids and you have time to work on being a dad to your children. There's so much you can study, so much you can learn from, so many other kids that you can go and help, so many other kids that you can help define who and what they are until you're able to touch your kids and be a father. And
Well,
sometimes I think that's the thing we lose from not having a dad, so we say, I don't know what to do. There's no book on parenting. There's no book on being a good dad. There's no good a book on being a good mom or being a great child. But because you have kids, now is your opportunity to read, study, get your children when you can, and experience what your dad didn't experience with you. It will be great.
just off of the fact that you were man enough to admit that you don't know how to be a dad just lets me know that you're open to learn, and anybody that's open to learn can end up being you. I say it like this: being a good dad is being what your child needs. So there's no straight across the board prerequisite of what a good dad is. I say I love each one of my children according to their needs as best as I can. And however they see me, if they see me as a good dad or mediocre or whatever, then hey, I'm doing my best, and they'll appreciate it when they get old enough to understand that. He said that's a good point. I believe in a higher power. I just find it hard because I don't want to fail my kids. Plus, I'm an alcoholic. My kids don't need to see me in that state. Brother, my children have seen me in some bad states, and they've seen me at my worst and they've seen me at my best. But one thing that my children have always seen is the fact that their father will never give up, and their father is always going to take them in account before anything else. Um, so what I can say is this, man. You don't want to fail your kids. We're always gonna fail, man. We're never gonna be perfect. We're never going to do everything right. We're going to make mistakes as parents. We're people. And we don't know everything. So we're going to make some mistakes, man. And as far as the being an alcoholic, then if what's more important, the alcohol or the relationship with your kids, because if the alcohol is causing a rift between you and your children, then something's going to have to go as far as the alcohol. You can get into programs, um, all types of things available out there that can help out with the alcoholism. I know, man, I know how hard it is, but ultimately your kids seeing you accomplish that is a feeling, man, that I can't even explain to you, man, but it's a great feeling. It's a feeling that propelled me to go and do greater things because I wanted my kids to be even more proud of me. And, now our relationship it's not great, but it's good. It's good. I have good relationships with all of my children, and that's what matters, man. You being there, you gonna make mistakes, but the fact that you stay there, don't ever feel like just because you're making mistakes, you can't be around your children, or that's self sabotaging right there. You being there is the most important thing for your children, whether you're alcoholic or not. Don't go around them drinking or don't go around them drunk. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of little safeguards that we can do, man. But just making sure that we are consistently in their life and we're there when they need us. That's it, man.
Facts, facts. Let me say this, RBR. I like your page and I like your YouTube. I'm going to subscribe. I just did. I thank you for what you're doing to us because you think you're making sure that we are on our P's and Q's as African American men. First of all, let me say this because you know how to deal with these things because, like I said, I just looked at your page. First of all, if I was counseling somebody, because I am a counselor in the church, the first thing I would say, we never dealt with the father being absent and how that affected you. So it would be very difficult for me to jump into the perspective of alcohol and your kids seeing you in that type of relationship. Because first, if your father, him not being there, affected you and there is a major problem, there's no way you're going to become an alcoholic and allow your kids to see you and you allow them to suffer the same thing you dealt with. So then what needs to happen? You say you believe in a higher power. There's a lot of higher powers. Some of them are satanic. What higher power do you believe in? Because if we're talking about the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, then he says he'll be everything that you need. Now, here's the problem. If we have not died to ourselves, yes, we will be alcoholics. If we have not given up the things of the world, yes, we will continue in those things. But once we come into the understanding and we're connected to the right power source, we'll do those things which are conducive. So our not only will we be blessed, our children will be blessed. Let me help you out with something, brother. There's a man in the Bible by the name of Obed Eden. And King David, since you said you're a believer, I'm going to go here because this deals with women too. King David had the Ark of the Covenant, and there was a man that was with him by the name of Asaiah. And the Bible says that Asaiah handled the ark wrong. He didn't handle it according to the rules of the pole. See, some men in life, man, just don't handle things right. And when we don't handle things right, we seek an alternative place to go lay our troubles or our burdens. Weed, alcohol, anything that's going to dismiss what's going on in our life. So watch what David did. David said, go somewhere and bury him. He made a mistake. See, brother, you can bury your problems. Those are nothing but mistakes. You can come out of that and live and be the example that you want for your kids. But watch this. David said, go down the road to that man by the name of Obed Eden's house. He's having difficulties there, but I'm going to sanctify his house and anoint it. And when you take the ark there, leave it there. So watch what the story says. His wife, because the presence of of God was in his house, was blessed. His children were blessed. His neighbors were blessed. See, brother, all you have to do is explain to someone that the position you're in might have the wrong company, might have the wrong people. You have not been sanctified, or your house is not in a position to be blessed. Those are things that you can easily fix right now. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. But again, your narrative does not speak consistency. For that reason, I say, what is the real problem or the real question?
Yeah. Hmm. Well, you said it, sir. Because getting back to this whole thing right here, because the whole child support, and I'm glad he brought that up, like child parenting, co-parenting. That's the word I'm looking for. Um, when we're in situations, oftentimes where we've broken up and our children are being shared back and forth between us. He says, I'm going to take the initiative to be there for my kids and I'll go to an AA meeting to get right. Bravo, brother. Bravo.
Let me say this to him, D.
I salute you.
The first step, man, and you know this as many do because you say you're going to take the steps to go to an AA meeting. The first step is to admit that you are powerless. God
Mm-hmm.
says that in his word when he tells you to repent. So if you know a higher power, you don't need AA. You just need to defeat the enemy, not the enemy. You need to defeat the enemy, the problem that which is what's causing you to drink, what's causing those things. I know many people who go to AA, they graduate, they get their cakes, everything's great, but then for some reason they relapse. But there's a person that you can connect to that says he won't put more on you than you can bear. And brother, you won't relapse. That is a guarantee. So the thing is, you must first, I agree, believe and note it that you have to become powerless over every situation or it will come back. Why do you think individuals who are in the AA program say, I've had 5 months clean? And then they'll say, I'm still an addict. Why? Because I have to recognize what's in me so I can overcome the inner me. Go ahead, D.
Um, Alcohol and drugs are just they're symptoms of an underlying issue. And until you deal with that underlying core issue, you're always gonna have a problem with drugs and alcohol, period. Um, that's from experience, that's from what I've seen, that's from running an AA program and an NA program for 3 years. I'm telling you, these kids got their breakthrough. These addicts got their breakthrough whenever they were able to identify their core problem and deal with it. Call it out for what it is and deal with it. But until that, then that's going to continue to be a problem in your life because that use is just to cover up something that you're trying to hide.
Again, I appreciate your channel, man. You're doing amazing things. Allow me to say this again. Number one is that you first came on and you said that you had issues with your father, which means abandonment. Then we jumped from abandonment, which we never really dealt with, and dealt with alcohol and your children. And now your children dealing with abandonment. So again, what is the real premise of the conversation? Because if we were in counseling or we're talking, first thing I would deal with if is there drugs. If there's not drugs, is there alcohol? What is the problem that causes one to go back in those areas? What is the trigger? So we need to identify what is the real trigger. But like I said, when I went to your page, I see you dealing with some of these issues. So I put the link in the room so you can come on in. Let's all dialogue and let's talk, bro.
Well, based on what he said, not wanting to be a failure to his children is like his father was a failure to him by not being in his life. And so if you're constantly stressing about not being a failure to your children like your father was a failure to you, then that could be something that definitely caused you to go and drink. And so until you deal with that core issue of the abandonment from your father, then you're going to continue to follow that same pattern. And that's the weird thing about it, because the things that happen to us, we tend to repeat those things. I don't know if it's a psychological thing or whatever it is, but wow, man, that's a hard one, man. That's well, no, it's not. I take that back. It's not a hard one. It's just it's difficult to deal with. It's difficult to come to terms with. But once you do and you overcome it, I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Again, his page does not line up with the question and the statements. That's why I'm asking, and I want him to come in the room and say, hey, maybe we can help each other's shows. Maybe we can get something going. We have almost
Mhm.
the same type of subscribers and views and all that stuff. Come on, man. We can chop it up so we can help other people. Tonight we're talking about women. A lot of women face the same issue. A lot of women,
Mhm.
their husband has left out on them. You're
Yeah.
already overcoming because you can't do anything. First of all, let me help you. I don't know everything, brother, but I'm gonna help you over something. The Bible says in the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, that we overcame already through the blood of Christ. So you don't have to overcome anything. His blood did it already. All you just have to believe in the power of the Holy Spirit and walk in it. Anything, watch this. Everything that you and let me not just talk about it. Let me read it. Go ahead, D, while I get this up.
Um, well, I was just gonna say you can overcome it, but another important piece to that is your relationship with the children's mother. that's going to play an important role in it too, because you have to have a strong, healthy support system if you're going to be trying to overcome this. Now, you can overcome it with God, but still having that support system is going to be key. And so, determine based on what your relationship is with the mother of the children, try to get that stabilized as well. But that all come as God works on you and things like that.
Isaiah 53, verse 1, who have believed our report? And to whom have the arm, not arms, the arm, which is the word of God, been revealed? And if you were somebody who didn't know, I would ask you, RBR, has the word of God been revealed to you? Because if it hasn't, I don't need to continue reading this anymore. We need to talk. And then that would be the burden of why things are going on. But if you do agree that you know and God has been revealed to you, you will understand for verse 2 on down. For he shall grow up before him as a tender root out of a dry ground. He has no form or nor comeliness. That's why God is something different from Satan, because Satan wants to be the prince, pretty, handsome, all that good stuff. All right, but let me jump down. Watch this. Verse 3, he was despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrow, acquainted with grief, and we hid our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed not. Let me go down to where, okay, here we go, verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities, and the chastisement of our peace was upon him. Watch this. And with his stripes, we are healed. So I'm going to go back to your question is where you said, I can overcome. You're already healed. It's just saying that I believe that I'm healed, addressing it and saying I'm healed, and it's time for me to move on. If you are indwelled or endued with the Spirit and you believe what I just said, you're free from anything, brother. It just takes a repentant heart.
That's it. You said it. Wow. So, man, this thing has been a great eye opener for me, man, and it's brought me to a place of recollection, I guess. I'm sitting here and just thinking about the different women in my life, my grandmother, my mother, and the things that she's done. Because, like I said before, my mother, I didn't even know that my mother only had a second grade education. And with the second grade education, my mother was a librarian. With a second grade education, a librarian. She was a when we was in North Carolina, she was a security guard, a full security guard at Barber Scotia College.
Wow.
That was a HBCU. My mom has worn so many hats with a second grade education and didn't go back to high school or didn't go back to school, period, until she was in her 70s. Man, you can't tell me that there's nothing that a black woman can't do.
Same
You
thing with
know,
my mom, doc. Same thing. My mom worked at one of the biggest hospitals in California, and she was over the food program. And that was Cedar Sinai Medical Center in Beverly Hills. She was there forever. And because she only had a fourth grade, fifth grade education, because of who and what she was as a woman, and that meant everything to corporate America. Yes, they are still giving jobs, but we have to become the conduit to what it is that we really want. And if we don't, we'll never get there.
yeah, the whole entire city of Concord, North Carolina, know my grandmother. There's,
Wow.
if you're my age or older, everybody and even the younger ones know my grandmother, man. She's like she's everybody's grandma, you know.
Facts.
Everybody was at my grandmother's house every day. She always had pots on the stove, and on Saturdays she did cookouts in her big crock pot in the front yard. Everybody knew and respected my grandmother, and I wasn't able to really appreciate that until I got older and really understood all of the things that my grandma had done and been through. And man, that was a strong woman. She had 17 children, and she kept the household making less than $40 a week. So you have 17 children. You only making $40 a week, but you're able to raise every 17 of them. Oh my gosh, man. Come on.
Man, RBR, I'm willing to debate, bro. Give me a topic, give me a couple of days. I'm willing to debate. We can do it on with these Mac and myself on our platform or yours. You said I'm looking at the thing behind you, Real Brothers Radio. We're willing to come on, man. I'm willing to debate. I'm willing to debate. If I don't meet up to your standards, hey, I'll back up. You said you're open discussions. Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. That's what I'm looking at right there. Let's do it. I'm with it.
Hey
I'm with
man,
it
iron
100%.
sharpens iron, brother. I'm always willing to converse with a man about something and find some solutions and make some connections and networking. I absolutely 100% promote that, and I would definitely be willing to chop it up with anybody, man.
Yeah, I'm down. I hope he's still here. Yeah, but RBR, let's debate, bro. Whatever topic you want. I don't debate on the word of God, but we can come together and talk about it. Anything, man. Family, alcohol, certain things. I'm willing to debate on it. So just let us know, bro. But make sure you give me the form of the discussion that we're going to enter before we go in, because I would like to be prepared. Then you tell me the rules of engagement, and we're ready.
So back to our black sisters. What more can I say, man? We have the greatest women in the Olympics right now. Um, they're about to go over here and do some great things. I'm sorry that Shakari Richardson didn't get to make this trip, but
Facts.
she's gonna have many more and more opportunities in the future. We still have some great representation. So I want to say to each and every
Man, I'm
on the
hey,
Olympic
I agree with
squad,
D, man. Go ahead, D.
every single one of our sisters that's on the Olympic squads, uh, salute from D Mac and Big J. We
Facts.
support you, we respect you, and we definitely got y'all backs no matter what.
Facts. Yeah, man, we willing to debate, man. He got me stuck on that one. And not from a negative standpoint to fuss with
Yeah,
another brother or to start calling people bees and niggas and all that stuff. I'm not into that. But if it's
yeah,
factual information you want to debate, let's get at it. That's one thing I'm not scared of to talk. Let's
yeah.
talk. I'm never scared to talk. You know why? Because I've been tried in the fire for too long by too many Negroes who want to destroy my life. So I've had to become versed in all situations just to
Mhm.
save my life. So let's get at it because I love making people look bad. I'm sorry. It's the wrong thing to say, but that's one of the only ways to get back at a fool is through a narrative of truth that you've learned. So
Yeah.
R and J, RBJ, what is it? RBR network. I'm open, bro. D Max open.
Like 7-Eleven.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. You want to say you want to buy 7-Eleven? Hey, D man, it was an amazing show talking about women because I
Yeah,
told my wife,
man.
man, no matter the things that we've been through together, no matter what's ever done to me or anything else, I love her beyond anything. And that's when as a man, that he can take a situation that should be destroyed, like Jesus should have destroyed us. And that man says, I forgive you and I stay right where I am, no matter what.
Hmm.
That's a true man.
Hmm.
We were all due the penalty of death, and Christ said, I'm going to step in for you because you cannot afford the price that I have to pay. See, so a man must understand he has to have a price that the woman can't pay. And that price will put him in a position to where that man becomes the figurehead, not just of his family, but of his community. Anywhere I walk around this community out here, all I hear is Coach Johnson, Coach Johnson. You know why? Because what I did in my home, they came to my home, they saw it. Not only did I do it here, I did it there. So they want to be a part and respect. That's why I say I'm open. I said maybe
Yeah.
we need to go around and cause issues, D, so we can get into some debates.
Hey, I invite guys all the time to come on our show and pull up. pull up in the
Please
live
do.
chat. Pull up on the stream. We'll bring you on, man. We will not shy away from talking with you guys. That's the thing about it. Iron sharpens iron, man. And I'm just like you, man. I do not shy away from a good spirited discussion. We can have it all day long as we're building and as long as we're finding solutions, man. I'm with it. That's what I do all day anyway. I talk
But
to
but
people. I interact.
But you got to know, I know game. I don't play game, and I've taught myself, and I'm versed in many subjects. So when you come in here, like I read the young man earlier, the narrative just didn't match up. So it was
Mhm.
something else. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's entitled to their own thing. But I'm 57 years old, and I've been on. I'm just gonna leave it like that. 'Cause I know game. Don't come in here, play. Now I'll deal with
Well,
you because let me say this: I'll deal with people because God will deal with them. He told me to
yeah.
hold my peace and he'll fight the battle. So I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna call you argument. Why you doing this? No, that's between you and God, bro. But the moment I step in
Mhm.
it, now it becomes my fight. I don't want it.
Well, you know, I, I want to change it up a little bit and just give a shout out to my queen, man. J Mac. She been down with me for going on. It'll be 16 years in
J
October,
Mac,
man.
J Mac.
And she deserves a crown. She
Yes,
deserves
sir.
everything that she's getting, man.
Yes,
She's a
sir.
blessing to me. I love her and I cherish her dearly. Now that I got that out of the way,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I seen that you was kind of poking holes in the question in it. But you know how people will come on to try to test you just to see what you really know and see if you really know what you're talking about. That's what I saw. And I appreciate it because those type of things that keep us on our toes.
Right.
Those are the type of things that keep our mind working, because you're gonna be in situations. That's like one day, Nine hit me with a question that I was stumped. And I just had to say, man, I don't even know. But
Right.
you got to
Right.
have
Right.
the integrity to be able to say, hey, man, I don't even know, but I can find out. Let's find out. If you don't have the information I don't, then let's find out. And that's what it's all about, man. Iron sharpening iron.
When individuals tell you in your life that you did them wrong and they were upset that you exposed certain things in their life and they tell you they're going to get back with you, get back at you, and I've had certain things, lies and jealousy and all kind of fallacies and stories that people created, man, you got to be
Mhm.
careful. You got to watch stuff. You got to watch how people act and what they do. So guess what? I know everything that went on in the past, and I know how it sounds, and I know what it
Mhm.
looks like. So when it
Yeah,
happens, I just sit back, shake my head. I say, God, you got him.
that's it.
And I said, my mouth, you got him. Because Satan uses the same narrative. He doesn't change. And
Mhm.
I had to stop laughing at folk because you look stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm going to go by that channel, that brother's channel, and jump on his streams. Because he seemed like he got it. He was talking about let's debate. I want to. And I'm not coming on there to be know it all. I want to know what you know so I can learn more
Yeah.
because
That's it.
oppositional information is very valuable. They use it
Yeah.
in the military. They send people out just to see what the enemy strategy is. You don't
Yep.
sit at home. You go out and you follow, you watch, you consider, you see what's true. I never go by another man's model of information. I study it for myself because you
Yeah.
can't believe people this day, they could be setting you up. Man, do you know how many people will sell out for $1?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. And I said that today. That's why if anything I hear, I'm going to go and I'm going to check for myself.
Right.
I'm not just going to accept the narrative that's being thrown at me. I'm going to go and I'm going to check about 3 or 4 different resources before I make an informed decision about what's been said to me. So when people come in and just throw stuff around, just know that I'm not, I'm gonna take it in and I'm gonna chew up the meat, spit out the bones every single time.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna ask. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you like I did him. I'm a grown man. I'm gonna ask. I got nothing to hide. Then you can ask
Hmm.
me whatever you want, and
Yeah.
you should be able to determine then whether I'm a liar or not. And that's what we don't have on YouTube. All the fighting, all the beefs allowed individuals who are hiding things to hide them because they're upset. And when you
Yeah.
have for example, if you have a child who's throwing a temper tantrum, he's doing that because he didn't want the truth to be exonerated. So what does he do? But when the push comes to shove, yeah, you're right. I stole it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Getting to that certain level of hysteria to where they think it's gonna make you back off. Nah, I ain't gonna back off. I'm gonna keep on pressing.
Yeah, it's a reason our numbers are. It's a reason our numbers are down, and I know it, but it won't be soon. It won't be like that for long. It
Oh
won't
yeah.
be, and it's all cool. It's all good with me. I'll jump on a podcast, do that. The numbers are great. They'll transfer over here, and then a while again, we'll hit that 5,000, 10,000. You'll hit your numbers because without distractions, you'll never reach where you're trying to go. Failure is a friend to success because failure gives you the opportunity to learn how to compete in adverse situations, whereby you learn how to stand beyond what the enemy throws at you. Then you just look at him and say, so sad. All you had to do was ask, unless the money was that good.
Mhm.
Good show, D.
Yeah, brother. I enjoy it each and every
Yes, sir.
time, man. We
Yes,
always
sir.
grow and learn every single time. So
Right. Yeah, yes, sir. And what I was saying the other day, I didn't know this, to where when I'm using their live stream and using their information and we don't have the numbers, they actually like taking money back from me. And it's okay. It's okay
mm,
because God takes care of me every day, man. And like I told
mhm.
somebody yesterday, man, the narrative that God gives us on our blog is amazing. We're touching so many people, man. Our blog has gone towards 300,000. And you don't
Wow.
do that. God does not give you his word to sinners.
Hmm.
That's the first thing I tell people. Does God give his words to sinners? And the first scripture they come with is the apostle Paul. I can preach the gospel and be a castaway. Then I tell them to go study the text. But he's not saying I could be a sinner and you be saved and I'm lost. That's not what he's saying. He's
No.
seeing he's seeing himself in the Colosseum games that were going on in Rome. And not only is he a participant, but he is the one pronouncing the games. So, as the one who is pronouncing the games, if he's not fit or in position to not only announce but to run, then he announced the rules. Then that makes him look bad. So he has to be able to compete. People are something else, and it's funny. God does not give His word to sinners, no matter what you do, no matter
Mhm.
what one says. He just doesn't do it. If you find in the Bible, show it to me, and I say, Amen.
Mm. I know that's right.
Yeah. So you got to be a devil that spread falsehood. Then. Woo, I
Absolutely.
make it deep, Doc. I make it
Absolutely.
deep. Yeah, yeah, D. So, man, we appreciate you so much. Appreciate the few people who came in the room. It's going to get
Mhm.
stronger. We, like you said, I just got to find the peak times to where people want to dialogue and talk about information. But what was going on right now on YouTube with Mr. Brown, Mr. Samuel, all these other people are enjoying that narrative. I'm not going to talk about them or be against them. Have fun. When you get a chance, come by and slide by, pull up and see me and D Mac. Help us get some of that cheese.
That's it, man. That's it. We appreciate every single one of you. We always do. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, and get the word out.
Facts. Everyone enjoy your evening. I'm about to go and get last night's live and podcasted. It should be ready right now. So I'm gonna go pull it up and we'll do this one later also. Everyone have a blessed night. And you know what I'm gonna say. Be the best and the best you will become. D.
Hey, you know me, sticks and stones will break your bones, but the word can always heal you.
All right, right. And we are out. Have a good one until next time.